All right, so let's get started here on learning about the negative sense single strand RNA alpha influenza type H5N1. This is hemagglutinin number 5 and neuraminidase number 1. In birds, there are 16 types of hemagglutinin and I believe 11 of neuraminidase. I'm going to double check that. Let's see. 16 and 9, rather, sorry. 16 hemagglutinin and 9 neuraminidase. So you can match them up. They don't. It's not going to be a one-for-one where you can do a combinatorics thing and see how many different permutations there are if you have 16 of H and 9 of N. So let's go over what these are. Both hemagglutinin and neuraminidase are called surface proteins. They sit on the outside capsid of the virion. I emphasize that for a reason. It's really like virion, right? But it's spelled like virus, but ion. So it's a single unit of the virus. And the capsid, CAPSID, coats. It's the thing on the outside. So if you were to able to drive a little tiny 6 nanometer car or something up to the virus, you'd be looking at the capsid, the thing that is like holding these surface proteins. All right. Okay. So there's actually 3 different objects on the surface of this virus. We're going to get to the M-type thing later. Right now, focus on this key fact about H. So it's always, when I see it written, when we're talking about the coding to produce these proteins, I see it written HA and NA. It says, and whenever it's like that, it'll say HA codes for hemagglutinin, and NA, these are called codons. I'll get more into this later, but codons are 3. I'll get it here in a second. It's the it's the thing that creates proteins, and it's like an acid or something. So hemagglutinin is a surface level protein that actually offers the virus a chance to attach to a host cell and gain entry to that cell. Okay, so hemagglutinin breaches the cell wall, and it allows the virus to get inside the host cell, and then neuraminidase is what allows the replicated budding virus, the new virus, to escape the cell. Okay, now there's a bit of a difference here. So hemagglutinin is just a straight up protein, and neuraminidase is actually considered to be an enzyme. What's the difference? Well, think of it this way. An enzyme is just a type of protein. So what is an enzyme that makes it unique enough to call it a subtype of the word protein? Well, it catalyzes and accelerates actions within whatever metabolic process is going on. So an enzymatic process is kind of like a catalyzed process. It's something that speeds it up or facilitates it, the process. So this is what proteins do. The neuraminidase is considered an enzymatic protein or an enzyme. Sorry, and the hemagglutinin is just considered a protein. Now, moving on. This negative SS part there, that's negative sense. That's actually a reference to the phylum of where this thing is, and the phylum. So in virus in virus taxonomy, there's something above kingdom, and it's called realm. Okay, so there's realm, and then there's kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species, and there's some other. Then there's more sub levels, but as we move down, we get into this. The kingdom that we're in is called Ornith something, and then when we get down into that, we're into this Negara Viracota, and that is Negara Viracota is the negative sense. So it's like Latin or Spanish or something. Negara Viracota is negative sense, and then the other S stands for single strand. So that's as opposed to the two strands. Those are seen more with what are called DNA viruses. So this is a single strand RNA virus. It's a simple virus. And when there's a subtype of this, so kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species, as we move down, we start to add these complexity layers. Now we get into the alpha influenza. And then we get into the highly pathogenic type of alpha influenza, and then we get into the highly pathogenic alpha influenza H5N1, and there's even subtypes within that. Once we get down into those subtypes, we start calling them strains or clades, CLADES. Clades are just, I don't want to say it's another word for strain because I quite frankly can't nail down the difference, but sometimes I see them separated by a / as if they are synonyms. But other times I see people use both words in separate parts of the same paragraph. And anyway, that's kind of the explanation of this words up here. So alpha influenza, and then H5 hemagglutinin 5 neuraminidase 1, negative sense single strand ribonucleic acid, highly pathogenic avian influenza. And then, the way this is normally written, Emma, is like this. Well, I'll show you in the paper. So let's go back to the paper and scroll down. So this is I think I'll probably start a new video here.